Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elka Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold $15 million and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, which teaches our 5 strategies for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't helping creative entrepreneurs just like you create profitable e-commerce businesses, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you, the creative, can take to make money in your e-commerce business on Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to achieving freedom with your time, location, and finances.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of, as long as you work smarter, not harder. And we're here to give you the tools you need to make your dreams happen. Let's get started. Hey there, it's Elka.
And Jen, and in this episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast, we're going to talk to you about how to choose your profitable niche on Zazzle.
And whether you say niche or niche, it doesn't matter. It is the thing or area or focus in which a customer is very interested. They're either interested in it for like a hobby or an interest or politics or science or yoga or meditation. All these things are niches, and that's what we're going to call them from now on, even though you might say niche. And it could also be some other definitions that we'll get into in the rest of this podcast. But first, how do you start by finding that profitable niche that you can use to start making money online with Zazzle?
So the first thing that we want to tell you is to look into what is in your space and what you're interested in. What kind of daily activities do you and what do you find interesting and what do you gravitate towards? Do you like to listen to a certain type of music or watch a certain type of TV show or read a certain magazine? So what we do is that we look into what sort of things we are already in our space and that we know about, because those things are the most easiest for us to actually create Zazzle products on, because we already know a lot about them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So think about any hobbies that you have, things that, like Jen said, you gravitate to that are not specifically commercially licensed things, because you can't make products about those, but you can certainly make products about hobbies that or interests like yoga and martial arts, weddings, occasions, anything to do with sports, politics, business. Those are all different niches. And that's the part that people don't understand, is a niche can be so many different things. It can be a hobby interest area, or it could also be an actual design style, like minimal or vintage or retro or what else? Goth, any kind of style that, or even like someone who is interested specifically in art or photography or motivational sayings or political commentary or comics or the humor specifically is also a niche. So first of all, in order for you to shine and give the most of what you have to offer to the customer on Zazzle, figure out what those things are for you. And there's another reason, not just so you can do really well and provide the customer what they want, because you are already basically a customer like that because you have the same interests, but you also want to do it because you love that. And because you love that, you're going to be able to work in that niche much more effectively and for a longer period of time, because we're establishing a business here together with you and Jen and I helping you out, where you are going to realize this is not just for the next month or the next year, this is long term. And if you don't have the staying power to be continually interested in that niche, then it's not worth your while to get into it, even if you think it is the most profitable and this is where you need to be in order to make money on Zazzle. So what's a really great example of people who have fallen into that trap and realized that just won't work for them anyway.
Well, a lot of people think that they see things on the Zazzle homepage or things in like even marketing or on the TV that are really hot and popular right now, and they decide that they want to start making Zazzle products within that niche or with that specific topic or even those color choices. And they think that it'll sell just because that's what's being marketed right now, but it's really not truly something that they believe in their heart or that they're passionate about. And most times, rather than not, Zazzle designers who do that actually don't become profitable, or it's not sustainable, I want to say, because they don't know exactly what's within that certain topic, or they have not so much background knowledge and they're only limited to what they see that's on the Zazzle homepage or in email marketing campaigns, etc. And there are so many things that go on behind the scenes, not just on the Zazzle homepage or what's on the trending bestseller list on the product list, that sell on Zazzle. There are so many different types of niches. So many things are selling on Zazzle. Zazzle is a multi-million-dollar company, and there are so many things that are going on that aren't just specifically shown on the Zazzle homepage. So if you are a Zazzle designer and you're doing your research to find out what's popular, what's trending, or what you should start to make next, you can definitely take in the Zazzle homepage into consideration. But if all of those things that are shown there don't resonate with you, or you don't find them to be attractive to you or come naturally to you, then don't put yourself in the position where you're trying to make these things just because you think that they're going to sell. First of all, you'll create a store where it's like a mishmash bunch of things where you're just kind of trend following or following the next hot thing, and your store won't look cohesive and put together. And that has something to do very much with your brand, which we spoke about in another episode of the podcast. But then at the same time, you're creating a store where you don't have your own set of products that will be sustainable for you, because you're just following the next new hot thing, and trends come and go, but the actual niche and the whole essence and the actual topic of the trend is something completely different. So for example, in weddings, which is the niche, you'll find that each year there are different colors that are popular, different styles that are popular, but the person or the designer who has niche as their niche that they're following in, they know that certain things will come and go, but they are always keeping up to date with the wedding information. It's not that they're now picking and choosing different streams of niches that are popular and having a store that's all sort of like a mix smash jumble of things.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So what Jennifer's really pointing out is that you can have a niche like wedding, which is what she was talking about, which has different trending colors and styles that come and go. However, the niche stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
So you still need to check out trends. But if you're constantly saying, oh, I have to make wedding invitations, otherwise I won't make money on Zazzle, that's incorrect. And if you say, oh, I only can make stationery, otherwise I won't be able to make the money on Zazzle that I want to make, that's incorrect. If you say, oh, like I can't make money doing something in my own niche or hobby, or only sell photography, or only sell my artwork, that's incorrect. It's only at this point your perception of what is selling and possible to sell, but you haven't actually gotten the tools and the framework yet to be able to leverage your particular niche or interests properly in order for you to see those sales. And as Jen mentioned, this is a point that I want to just double mention, because most designers who don't sell right away, they right away look into the bestsellers list or see what's trending and what Zazzle is showcasing. Don't forget that Zazzle's showcasing those things because they either want to sell them or they're already a good seller and they want to sell more. But most likely they're actually just following the trends themselves with colorways and so on. But they're always still selling things in the niches of business, politics, wedding, any sort of occasions, anything to do with home decor and clothing. So that could actually be a niche, or can be even more specific than that, such as like sports or meditation, motivation, politics, humor, whatever else you can possibly think of. We have students who are doing really well that love knitting and crocheting,
Yeah.
and they have a store like that. Then they have someone is doing lots of people are doing surface pattern designs. That's their niche. Then there's people doing martial arts. There are people that are doing comics and political satire. There are people who are in our course that are doing well, that are they're doing quilting,
yeah, and
hunting and fishing.
Motivational quotes.
Motivational quotes. So pick, first of all, what you feel that you're interested in, and make sure that you realize that you're the best customer for that, right? Because you are the one that loves this hobby or loves this area of interest, and that's your go-to niche. You can always expand later, but the first thing that you want to start with, so you can get like a foothold and get some money, making money on Zazzle, why not go with something that you already know? You can always teach yourself the other niches later.
Yeah.
Have you heard about our Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Facebook group yet?
Are you a Zazzle designer who is struggling to find a community where you'll receive training, content, and be able to connect with like-minded creatives who also want to crush it on Zazzle? Then the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Facebook group is perfect for you.
Joining is easy. Click the link in the show notes and we will see you on the inside. Now let's get back to the show.
And then the second part is skill sets. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, I just wanted to jump in quickly and say that we do have a lot of students in our Profit by Design Academy course who say, I don't actually know what my niche is, or I don't know what to sell. Please help me. And we give them this whole, like what we're talking about right now, and they still have problems. So what I have actually told some of them to do, which you can do this exercise too, is that you work backwards. You know what you don't like, or you know what you don't want to work in, right? If you came up to me and you said, here, Jen, now you have to open up a store all about hunting and fishing. I would have no idea because I don't go hunting and fishing. So if you want to make a list of things that you obviously don't want to do, or if you're on the Zazzle platform and you see a whole bunch of different designers and their styles, and that doesn't resonate with you, then you can write down a list and say, okay, I don't want to do these. And then your brain will start to recognize the things that you do like. And then on the other side of the page, you can start to write down things that you are interested in or that your hobbies include, etc. And then you can really hone in on the things that you do like rather than the things that you don't like.
Because you sort of put them on the list, so they're taken care of, they're out of the way.
Yeah.
So
that's an exercise.
That's a cool exercise. Yeah. Hopefully, let us know if that works for you. Okay, so how about skill set? Do you want to talk about that?
No, you go for it.
Okay, so skill set is very important in that you need to be able to know that you want to deliver. Like if you want to get into a particular niche on Zazzle, you have to either already have those skill sets or find a way to get those skill sets by getting training, courses, practice, to make sure that you can deliver the product quality and type that is needed in order for a customer that's looking in that niche to literally say, oh, that's the one I want, rather than just going that you're in that niche, but then it's not really a desirable product that the customer would want to buy because the design is poor quality. And that also means that you have to be very kind and graceful to yourself and give yourself the grace to say, maybe my designs aren't actually the greatest. I need some help. And that doesn't mean that you can't get it or can improve. It just means that make sure that you are very honest with yourself to say, okay, I can either do this or I can't do this. And if you can't do it right now, then make sure you get that training first before you start thinking that there's some problem with you selling in that niche because it's not working for you, and that niche must not be popular or not enough to be making the money you want to make. So that's another thing that a lot of our students realize after starting with us, but then they know that they get all of the help that they need with regards to designing because it's right there in the Profit by Design Academy. We have Design 101, we have Design Intensive, and we have Design School. Those are 3 modules that are right there for anyone who joins the Profit by Design Academy to take advantage of, so you can really shine in your niche and deliver the things that you want to have your customer see and purchase. Now, this does not mean that you need to do completely new artwork artwork or completely new photography. No, it just means you don't know yet how to design on the Zazzle products to make them look lucrative. You still bring your unique content and your unique, whether it's graphic designs, artwork, photography, surface patterns. That's you. That's your initial or original stuff that the customer is going to really want, but they have to be presented in a way that the customer realizes, oh, cool, rather than it's like, there seems something wrong with this, even though I like the pattern or I like the design. So we never want them to say that thing in their head, because that's like a cancellation of a sale. And we want you to make as many sales as possible. And it starts with picking a niche that you can be excited about and also be able to deliver the design level at which customers are expecting, so they can put their money down and purchase your designs.
Yeah. Oh, and if you are listening to this podcast episode and have come across us and you actually don't have a Zazzle store and you're thinking, oh, well, I'm actually not artistic, I'm not creative, I'm not an artist, I'm not a photographer, and I'm not a graphic designer, then that's okay.
You can still earn money on Zazzle.
Yeah, you can still earn money on Zazzle because you are given on Zazzle, there's an amazing design tool which you can use without any professional or previous Photoshop or artwork experience. But as well, if you are interested in something online or in a magazine or on TV, you know what you are visually attracted to. If you are on Pinterest and you love looking at really pretty pictures or, even home decor inspiration, or if you like looking at magazines for travel, etc., you know what you're attracted to because it looks nice and you understand like the concept of the design that you see or whatever you're attracted to in a magazine or on a blog or on TV, etc. And so when you think that you're actually not creative or you could never sell artwork because you're not an artist, that's actually not true. All you have to do is just start and play around with things because you already know in your mind what you are attracted to. So if you are trying to appeal your artwork or potential artwork to the same group of people who are interested in the same things as you, then you know already what you can sell and you've done basically your customer research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there are graphics that you can purchase and the license for, so you can use them commercially on Zazzle. If you're not artistic and you don't know how to make these graphics, there is also a lot of opportunity for you to do text-based designs right in the Zazzle design tool. And by enjoying all the creative things, as Jen said, you can transfer that information to your own designs that you create on Zazzle that are based on that same kind of feel or look or sort of theme that can become your own personal creative outlet on Zazzle. And those things are going to be your sellers because you're going to post those products for sale. What else do we need to know about finding your niche besides the actual interests that they have, so they're really good at knowing even what the customer wants and being very aware of what's needed in that niche, and also the design aspect, so they are very capable of producing and giving those products to the customer. Is there anything else we need to know?
Well, we did want to talk about Google Trends a little bit.
Oh yeah, how to do the research.
Yeah, how to do research. So if you have an idea in terms of what you want to start selling on Zazzle and what niche you want to go into, and then also what you're passionate about, then you can always do some background research. And we tell our community to look up on Google Trends because you can do your research on Zazzle, obviously, but that's very streamlined to what's selling on Zazzle. Zazzle does their own internal marketing and external marketing, and they are promoting either trends that are happening right now within the Zazzle marketplace and also things that are pertinent to what's going on in the year. So obviously when you go on the Zazzle homepage and it's Christmas time, you will see Christmas themed designs. You won't see summer themed designs because they are also advertising to their customers as well. You can take that into your production plan, but what we want you to do is do some research into what is selling at a general theme a general scale during a certain time of year. And so if you want to go into the, let's say, knitting niche, then you should go on to Google Trends and look up what kind of things are people interested in when they are looking up knitting, because there is definitely a huge amount of people who are interested in the knitting niche. but maybe they're not all found on Zazzle, for example. So you want to do some external research as well on top of looking at what's selling in the Zazzle marketplace. And that's why we say go to Google Trends, because that way you'll get your research results based on like a global scale.
Mm-hmm. And when you're doing that research, what is it that you need to find and understand about it? You want to make sure that there's at least like a couple 100,000 people interested, preferably 1 million, that are always looking and finding things related to whatever niche it is that you're working on. If it's in like 10,000 range, then I would say that unfortunately you're one of the few people that are interested in this area, and you probably need to expand your niche to include some more things, or maybe also it's going to give you some idea as to what your niche specifically is called and what words are used more specifically than others within a niche, so that you can use that also when you're creating your titles and tags. So it's always useful to do some Google Trends searching. But the key part here is there enough population in the world asking for information or products about what you plan to be doing as a niche on your Zazzle store? And if the answer is yes, and it's in the millions at least, and it's maybe even year long, like all year long, not just maybe, October, November, gearing up for Christmas, then you've hit the jackpot, and you've got a large enough niche that it's going to be something that you can develop into your own business on the Zazzle platform, which is really important, because we don't want anyone to do work that's going to be wasted just because there's no one interested in as a customer looking for that information and or products. Okay, and that's it. I think that's a really good way to find your niche, make sure you're going to be able to deliver in that niche, and double check to make sure there's enough demand for it. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next podcast episode. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to The Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur with Jen and Elke Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to start and scale your Zazzle business so that you can have the passive online income to have location and time freedom to live your dream life.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more creative entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce business.
And don't forget to take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories and tag us at Miss Jen Clark and at Elke Clark. We'd love to hear your biggest takeaways from today's episode. See you back here next week.